Good morning. We're here for March the 31st, 2017, doing our one-year Bible study. And I've started my first full day of a rest that I'm taking. So I know I shared that with you guys yesterday, just being transparent with you. Didn't get to start it quite as soon as I thought. Didn't start till about 2:30 yesterday. But it's been nice so far, and nice, pleasant morning this morning. So just looking forward to some peace and quiet, which I think is important for all of us to do. I don't think it's a coincidence that God set aside the seventh day for a Sabbath. I think the Sabbath absolutely represents the rest that Jesus Christ comes to give us in every day of our life. But I think it's an indication to us that we are to rest our body, and I think it's important. So, of course, I'm preaching at me. You guys know that. I've been very honest with you guys. But anyway, March 31st, 2017, we're reading Deuteronomy chapter 16 and 17. And I appreciate the prayers, by the way. I asked you guys to pray for me yesterday, and I felt those prayers. I believe you've prayed for me. I'm going to enjoy today. But Deuteronomy 16 and 17 continues the journey, just getting ready to cross over. And once again, God is speaking through Moses these final words. And I had two thoughts today that really struck me in Deuteronomy as we read these. The first one being about a continual pattern of Moses telling them to remember what God's done. To remember. It's the reason why I try to journal, at least somewhat. I'm not real faithful about journaling every day by any stretch of the imagination, but I do have journals that I can look back on and see where I was at, what I was going through, and how God came through. And I recommend that highly. I recommend having that journal to write down all of the good things that God does for you. Because in those times of need, in those times when you're feeling unsure, boy, it's powerful to go back and see where God met this need. God did this for us. God, He's faithful. And just to continually read about the faithfulness of God. And that's what happens here, is it's a continual reminder of all of the good things that God did. And then the second thing I got today is the law and how much of the law there is. Again, they had to count out 7 days to do this, 7 days to do that. And then I haven't pointed it out in the last few days, but it always strikes me, like I think it was yesterday or the day before, we talked about the idols and how we can have idols in our life. And if you were caught in idolatry back then, they stoned you. I mean, they killed you. And today, in the law, if you didn't obey the law, then they stoned you. You were actually put to death. So anyway, the law was designed to show us how much we need a Savior. It was never designed to follow the letter of the law. It was never designed that they could be successful, because if they could have been successful in it, they wouldn't have needed Jesus. We all need a Savior. We can't do it on our own. I tried for many, many years to do it my way, and oh my goodness, the difference, the contrast of the last 16 years of my life versus the 16 years prior to that, there is no comparison to the joy and the peace and the tranquility that I have in my life, doing it God's way and allowing Him to do it through me, because that's the key. It's in us. It's Christ in us, the hope of glory. That makes all the difference in the world. So anyway, and then in Luke, let's see if I can read this to you. I just want to read this last bit because it's just a powerful message. And this is the message for today. And this is probably why I'm taking this 24-hour sabbatical. And He said to all, "If anyone would come after me, let him deny himself and take up his cross daily and follow me. For whoever would save his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will save it. For what does it profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses or forfeits himself? For whoever is ashamed of me and of my words of him, will the Son of Man be ashamed when he comes in his glory and the glory of the Father of the holy angels. But again, just that we submit to him and we make it about his life, and it's no longer our life, but it's his life, and it's what's God's purpose for me and what's his will for me. And I just tried my best to wake up every day and say, here I am, Lord, use me. So anyway, I'm going to keep it short today. I'm going to go rest, as I told you all I was going to do. So thank you for continuing to pray for me. And thanks for being faithful to your one-year Bible study. Again, this whole thing is just to encourage you to be faithful in your reading of the Word so that you hear his voice more clearly as he's speaking to you. So God bless y'all. I love you, and have a happy April as it comes in tomorrow. Talk to you soon.